have already got to this point that China and US relation nowadays become more and more challenging. And in this situation, so when you shoot this film, the whole thing already starts to become worse. And so, for example, if we take a look at the reviews of this film from the Western world, and some of the reviews are negative. Well, I think that's very biased, but I can understand from their political view. So this is what they think. So I think you already foresee this, that the two big countries, so their relation in great tension, and you are kind of standing in the middle. So in this situation, it would be very difficult to stand in the middle. So in this case, when you foresee this, there will be, I think, great courage that you stand in the middle and make these films to tell China's stories from your perspective, from what you see, which is true. So in this regard, so what supports you to have this courage to tell the China stories in your way?
I don't think we're brave. And I'm not being modest. I honestly don't think we're brave. I think I really don't like bullies. And I think, I mean, it's hard to say a country of 1.4 billion people is being bullied, but I think it is. And I think that especially in the age of, you know, kind of internet and social media and the web and so forth, words always mean something. They always have huge impact. But in the last 5 or maybe 8 years, the discourse, the anti-China discourse around the world has been turbocharged by social media. And I think China has been bullied. And I don't think China's, the guys who run China are terribly good at understanding the enormous impact of soft power. Soft power is power. We only have to look at, you know, South Korea, a rinky-dink little country about this size compared to China, and they punch well above their weight because they understand soft power. You know, back in, I think it was 2014, when this guy was leaping around the stage pretending to ride a horse, totally charmed the entire world. Follow that up with things like Squid Game. Follow that up with the Chinese film, the Korean films that got Academy Award nominations. This small country is incredibly powerful and incredibly respected because of its popular culture. Forget that they make great cars and great refrigerators and great all kinds of things. But the only thing that really matters in the rest of the world is that their popular culture is hugely influential. China cannot possibly ever write a song like Gangnam Style. It can never make a television series like Squid Game, and the film business has been squashed completely, and that's just a fact of life. So what we try to do is, you know, we obviously try to run away from trouble wherever we can do it, but we try very hard to advocate for China, to tell Chinese stories without propagandizing China. That's the reason we don't take money from the Chinese government. We have to stay independent, and we have to be truthful. We're pretty good at it, but we still run into heavy weather on, you know, with pretty much every film that we make. There's always oversight. There's always censorship. I'm a guest in China, right? I have to respect the system. I don't particularly admire it, but I respect it, and we try very hard to work with the censors to get the film that we want, when they say, "Can change that, take that out? This is too long," or we don't. We have to be respectful of the system, and don't forget that there is just as much, slightly different in its tone and its approach, but there's just as much censorship in Hollywood. I was a screenwriter for years, and I cannot tell you how many times the studio steps into your life and says, "We don't like this character, you better take that character out," or you should soften this. So the censorship exists. It's not that there's nothing in the West and it's all in China. It's quite the opposite of that. It exists everywhere. So we deal with censorship, and as I say, we're going to keep going, but I don't quite know what the future holds.
Thank you.
我觉得说回到勇敢这个事情，对我而言还好啦，因为他能说我什么呢？我就是一个中国人，对吧？我肯定站中国的边了。所以我刚才说为什么开个玩笑说他是英国人，但是我觉得因为他的这个身份，可能当他来看中美的话，他会更中立一点，就是他可能会step back， 有一个更 world view 来讲这两国的这个故事。实际上，我是中方制片人，我们其实还有一个美方制片人，跟我们讲，他们两个对他们两个而言会更难。因为西方会觉得他们俩是那个 traitor 背叛了他们的这个 Yes, I know you understand. 就是对于他们俩而言，是因为他们的身份嘛，对吧？你本来应该是我这个阵营的，你为什么要跑去讲他们的好话？那你就是背离了我们所有这个信仰，你成了背叛我们的人。所以对他们而言压力可能更大一点，我就还好了。